Thank you very much for this chance. Thank you very much for this initiative. Thank you very much for the chance to be here on the launching night of your inspired stage in Tallinn. And to do it in this very renowned club, KuKu Klubi, which I understand has a long history here in Estonia, a long history for thoughts and dreams. And I can only imagine how many thoughts have been thought. I can only imagine how many dreams have been dreamt in this club. I'm here to speak to you about dreams, about your biggest goals and how you can achieve them. I'm going to tell you a story at some point, and I'm going to also tell you about my own experience. But first of all, let me tell you that achieving your biggest goals is not something that comes easy. Okay, I've heard about people who play in the lottery once and then they win millions. But I have only heard that a very few times. Most of the time, people who achieve their biggest dreams and goals, they have to work for them really, really hard. Writers, we have some here, they have sometimes said they only get there through blood, sweat and tears. Then afterwards people read a beautiful story, but you don't see the blood, sweat and tears maybe, but there is the blood, sweat and tears behind it. But my idea for tonight is that it is also possible to get there a little bit more easily. It can be fun, and it can be possible to get there with a bit of fun with others if you join with others. So I have a recipe for you, and this recipe is consisting of 3 ingredients. Firstly, you have to think really big. Think big. Secondly, you have to be passionate about achieving that goal. And thirdly, you have to involve others in achieving that goal. So first of all, think big. When we are small, there is a child here tonight, when we're small, we don't have modest ambitions. We have big ambitions. Little girls and little boys, they want to be film stars, they want to be astronauts, they want to find the cure against cancer or something else important. There is no limit to their ambition. And then later on, as we grow up, we become a little bit more scared, we become a little bit more careful, we want to adopt, we want to adopt our dreams to what's realistic and what's possible. We don't want to fail. What if the others see it? But my point is, don't give up your dream. Just, whenever you have a big goal, a big dream, just go for it. You'll get there. What's really important when you have that big goal is of course priority and planning. So put your priorities in place, make sure that you take some of the less important things out, do the things that are really important. And planning, you know, ambition without a plan is just a dream. You really, if you want to reach your goal, you really have to plan. And you have to keep revising that plan consistently. So if there is something that changes, just change your plan a little bit, but keep your goal in mind, you'll get there. Secondly, be passionate. Be passionate about what you do. Tell everybody about your dream. Tell them with passion, enthusiasm. Tell them how magnificent it is, how big your goal is, how it will help others, how it can maybe, as I said, find a cure against cancer. It can be good for environment, it can be good for health, it is a just plan, it is something spectacular, it's something maybe magic. People will get interested, and when they get interested, then that's what they listen. And when they start listening, that's when you tell them the details of your plan. And then you tell them carefully, it's actually possible to get to that magnificent goal. And now that's my third point, because you have to tell those other people about it. You have to invest. You know that they will have to invest some money maybe. Maybe they have to invest their time. So if you really want them to get along, and if you want to reach that goal, you have to also tell them about how they can benefit from this goal. How can this goal be theirs? maybe they have a similar goal, maybe they have something a little bit different, but if you go together, you can reach both of those goals. So try to get people along, take an interest in them. If you take an interest in people, you will find out what are their strengths, and you will find out what are their weaknesses. And I'm not saying this because I want you to use their weaknesses, not at all. I want you to use their strengths. Use their strengths to your goal together with them, and give them credit, because when they reach their goal, you also reach part of your goal. So give them credit, tell everybody how great they are when they've done it. Yes, I promised you I would get to my story. So, here's a story that can tell you about how, it's an example of how you get these three ingredients in one little, it's actually kind of a fairy tale from old days, medieval times. Maybe it started in Tallinn in the 1200s, I don't know. But it's about a vagabond, you know, a tramp, one of those people who have been wandering in the roads. And he is this tramp, this vagabond. He's walking in the road, on the roads, and then he sees a farmhouse. And this farmhouse looks very pretty, and he's hungry. And then he looks at the door, he knocks on the door, and there's a lady who opens, the farmer's lady opens the door. And it's a story about how a vagabond can make a great soup out of a nail, an old metal nail, and he can actually cook a soup out of it. So he says to the farmer's lady, I can cook a soup based on a nail, and this soup will be worthy of a king. And she's a little bit skeptical. She's looking at the vagabond, looking at his shoes, thinking, okay, is that possible? But she decides to give him a chance, because it sounds magic, it sounds fantastic. So she gives him a chance, invites him into the kitchen. He puts his metal nail on the bottom of a big pot with water. The water starts boiling, and slowly the people in the house are beginning to come to the kitchen. This is very interesting. So the enthusiasm with which the vagabond is talking is also very enticing. It's interesting. So they look at it, and the vagabond tells them all about the magic trick. And then at some point when they're looking and the expectations are beginning to rise, then he says, maybe this soup would actually benefit from a little bit of bacon. And the lady says, okay, and maybe an onion. Okay, so they put that in. And then gradually people are thinking, beginning to smell very good, and they think, okay, maybe there is a chance this soup will actually be really, really good. So everybody chips in, everybody has an idea, and then they add a little bit, each and every one of them in the kitchen, a little bit of spices, and then one person says, well, if you put bacon in, then it'll start being even more interesting. So the vagabond agrees, and in the end they taste the soup. The soup is wonderful. And they all agree this soup is worthy of a king. So with that story in mind, I wasn't so nervous when I heard that the Queen was coming to town. Because as you heard, I'm the ambassador of Denmark here in Tallinn, and I had the honor of receiving Her Majesty the Queen here in Tallinn on the 15th of June in this year. So at first I thought, oh my goodness, Her Majesty is coming to Tallinn, and how am I going to receive her here? Because we don't have any extra money, we don't have any extra resources. How am I going to make sure that this visit will be great? And then I thought, okay, if a vagabond can cook a wonderful soup on a nail, then I can also cook something for Her Majesty. So, the Majesty, Queen Margrethe II, she arrives in town, and what she sees is somebody and a whole town which has been dreaming a dream together. Together, with passion, all of us, we joined hands and we made a soup that was pretty good, I think. We got the flags to fall from the sky, the Danish flag that fell in Tallinn 800 years ago, it fell again. And this time it was joined by another dream, because it was joined by the Estonian flag that also fell from the sky. And together with the Estonian Institute, which is actually also represented here tonight, and with the Danish Cultural Institute, with the President's Office, with Stenbock House and the Prime Minister, And with the city of Tallinn, we managed to make so many things. We also cooked a garden together with 800 roses. We cooked several exhibitions and concerts. In the end, I couldn't even remember how many things we did because everybody was cooking and adding spices all the time. So, in the end, this became, I think, a soup worthy of a king or indeed a queen. Thank you very much. Thank you.